Hey everyone, Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys an old school album review. And today we're going to be looking into this album's 15th anniversary, and this is personally one of my personal favorite albums in the metalcore world. And as you can see below the title, today we're going to be looking into The End of Heartache by Killswitch Engage. This is the band's third album, released on May 11th, 2004 through Roadrunner Records. Now, like I said, this was the band's third album, following up their 2000 self-titled album and the 2002 album Alive or Just Breathing. But it was around the time after they did Alive or Just Breathing, they went on tour, and this is pretty much where things started to... There was like a little bit of tension between the band member, and they're kind of going through some turmoil. It was around the time original vocalist Jesse Leach had left the band. I believe, from what I heard, he wasn't like really into like music anymore, and it was just taking a toll on his life, just like touring and stuff. He was kind of going through some depression and shit, and he just pretty much flaked on the band. Didn't even tell them, which was kind of a little bit of a harsh thing. But then a lot of people were wondering what's going to happen with Killswitch, and it was around this, of course, with the End of Heartache. This also was the introduction of two members who used to be in another band from Massachusetts, I believe is where they're from, Blood Has Been Shed, being Howard Jones on vocals and Justin Foley on drums. And I honestly think, in my opinion, this is pretty much the album that brought Killswitch Engage to the mainstream, pretty much what solidified them and made them what they are. Just comparing like Howard Jones to Jesse Leach, I mean, Howard has a lot more of a melodic side to it, which kind of like brings sort of like Killswitch into like a new direction. Like his screams are just great, but just like his singing is just wow. I just love his baritone voice, and just like the way, and just like the way he conveys himself with his singing. It just, he puts so much emotion into it. You could definitely like feel what he's singing about. And just the guitar work on this album is just great. And Adam D and Joel's guitar playing is just really great. The bass is pretty audible from Mike D, you can definitely hear it. And Justin Foley, I think, is one of the solid metalcore drummers ever. So, yeah, without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now, it starts off with A Bid Farewell, which is a very good opener to the album. And it pretty much opens well, starting off with like the little bit of drums and a little bit of guitars, but then just, boom, hits you full force. I kind of like the singing and like the chorus, and just also has a very good bridge to it, a very good start to the album. Take This Oath, which once again, this start of the song rocks, just like the screaming and singing blend well together, and with the drumming and the guitars. And also another cool thing is, I didn't even realize it, actually Jesse Leach, their former singer, well, he's in the band now, but at the time he was the former singer, but it's a little bit of like the guest vocals on this. I think he did like the vocal harmonies, or probably did some backing vocals in like the chorus of the song, which, I mean, it was kind of weird considering at this point he was out of the band. I don't know if it was like studio outtakes or anything. I'm not even sure. I haven't even looked into that. But overall, a very good song. When Darkness Falls, probably like my second favorite song on the album, which just like the intro scream from Howard just definitely says a lot about this song, and possibly sort of like the heaviest song on here, which has lots of screaming, which is well done, and the lyrics are pretty much very meaningful. And I pretty much like the chorus in there with Howard singing and also Adam D doing some backup vocals, which I think Adam has some good vocals in here. I just wish in more albums he would just be more like up in there. They're along with Howard and, well, Jesse, of course. But overall, it's a very good song, and this song was actually featured in the movie Freddy vs. Jason. So you probably have heard it somewhere before if you have watched it. I mean, I personally haven't, but I just know it's on there. Rose of Sharon, which is pretty much the most mainstream song, along with like the title track. And I just like the lyrics, like numb and broken, here I stand alone, and just some very meaningful lyrics. And I really like the chorus in there, especially like the little bridge where Adam sings. It's just a great song. Pretty much one of the Killswitch's most known songs. Then we go into Inhale, which is an instrumental, or like a little bit of an interlude, which almost kind of sounds a little bit country-ish when I first heard it. It has a little bit of a country vibe, but I feel like the song itself definitely flows into the next song really well, which is Breathe Life. Here we are with Breathe Life, which is a great start of the song with like the guitars and screaming. I mean, and as well said, and and in a really good spot in the song. And the chorus is like the best singing of the album in my opinion. And Howard shows some like really good range in this song, and I just like it's a really great guitar, good solo in there, and just an excellent song overall. Then we go into the title track of the album, "The End of Heartache." And this song was also featured in another movie, which is the Resident Evil soundtrack. And it has like some really good guitar parts and some pretty much. This song is pretty much mostly clean sung, and I don't think there's hardly any screaming ivy at like a few parts in there. Alright. Declaration, which I think is a pretty good song on here, which has some really good guitar sounds on there. World Ablaze is, I just think it's another good song. Just overall, just like all these songs on here are just fucking great. Then we go into Wasted Sacrifice, which is another one of the highlights of the album. And this song is completely awesome. From the start, it sounds like a very epic song. And the great build-up from the harsh whisper to the full-blown screaming is awesome. And the lyrics are totally rock, like the screaming of "Heed My Cry" is just sweet. And this whole song flows extremely well, and it's definitely one of Killswitch's best songs. I think it's pretty much an underrated song in my opinion. Hope Is. Now, this song is very good. Just a very good closer to the album. A good song, start of the song with like a guitar and screaming, and like "This is our moment, you will stand with me." It's a very good closer and a great album. Now, of course, if you get this special edition, which I have, it actually has a second CD with like some bonus tracks. First off being Irreversible and My Life for Yours, which actually has some older outtakes, which has Jesse Leach and Phil Abante from All That Remains doing some vocals on there, which is pretty interesting. It also has the Resident Evil version at the end of Heartache, which I haven't even listened to that one yet, so I can't really give my thoughts. And three live tracks of Life to Lifeless, Fixation on the Darkness, and My Last Serenade, which I think are pretty good as well. I think those are versions with Howard singing them, and I actually think Howard does them pretty good. Now overall, The End of Heartache by Killswitch Engage is a really great album. Pretty much what made Killswitch, solidified them and made them what they are, just musically, lyrically, vocally, everything. So if I would give this album a score, I'm definitely going to give this a solid 10 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review of The End of Heartache, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it, and I'll see you all in the next video, and as always, keep it metal.